And welcome into episode number 3 of This Week in Kahok Nation. Coming up on this week's show, Clay Smith, the athletic director of Collinsville High School, is going to talk things over with Andrea Frecker, CHS graduate and 3-sport athlete during her time at Collinsville High School. And then we'll have our first of a 3-part interview with 1974 Collinsville High School graduate and 1982 World Series champion, third baseman Ken Oberkfell. But we're going to begin our third episode by talking to this guy right over here. This is Mike Radosevich. He is a 1996 graduate of Collinsville High School and is the current co-owner of Code 3 Spices there on the front of his shirt, downtown Collinsville. 302 East Main Street is their location, by the way. And thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Todd. I really appreciate it.
All right, 1996 graduate of Collinsville High School. So tell us a little bit about your high school days back in the late 90s.
High school days in the late 90s. Well, I was just telling you before the show started, I was a Peter and Paul kid. Ended up going to Collinsville High School and really wasn't too focused on school. All I wanted to do was play sports, baseball and soccer and a little bit of basketball here and there. I was very fortunate to come through Collinsville High School when I did. I came on the back end of the Richard Keens and, all that. So we had an incredible class of athletes before I got there in 93. We already had a state run in soccer. My freshman year for soccer, I played JV and then eventually got moved up to varsity. So I was varsity 4 years as a goalie. I didn't play a lot as a keeper my freshman year, but come sophomore year, I split some time with Clay Smith, who was a tremendous mentor in the goal. And, we made a run that year as well. So that whole era, even from baseball, basketball, soccer, it was a great run, great group of athletes. It was a fun time in my life. You look back at it now and, all the hard work you paid off. I think a lot of people sort of push high school athletics under a rug because you're focused on collegiate and professional, and all you see is the final score, Big Ten, this, that, and the other. And you realize how hard those guys work, but you really don't understand. Honestly, these high school athletes, they work hard. And I think that's one thing that should probably be said. I would much rather watch high school team play any sport than college or professional even at times.
Yeah, and nowadays they're even more athletic, if you will, because there's such an emphasis placed on weight training and all that stuff. It just wasn't there back then.
I'm telling you what, I got a nephew who's a junior at Triad, and watching his physical, what he has to do throughout the week with CrossFit and all these other things. He's playing baseball. Whenever I was playing baseball, growing up, going through high school, they weren't measuring the exit velocity off my bat. Right. They're literally measuring exit velocity off bats now for high school kids. And these athletes are just going to keep getting better and better as time goes on.
Sure are. All right, graduated in 96. What'd you do next?
Well, I went and played ball which was then BAC. Played there for a year. They wanted to move me to first base. At the time, the scouts I was talking to, they sort of wanted me behind the plate, so I ended up going to Lewis and Clark, playing for Randy Martz, who had 9 years in the big leagues between the Braves and the Cubs. Had a very excellent year there, which allowed me to play for the CICL League, which was the inaugural season for the Bluff City Bombers. That was up in Alton, Godfrey area. On that team, we had 9 people make it to the big leagues. So that was a very eye-opening experience for me when it came to baseball, because I went from being a 6'3", 6'4" sophomore in college, built pretty good, 220-ish, hit a lot of power, but the game changes a little bit when they put a wood bat in your hand and you're facing guys that don't throw under 92 for an entire summer season. But that was a good warm-up, though. That allowed me to get ready for college ball, D1 ball. I was a few credits short from going D1. I was looking at Alabama, Memphis, Vanderbilt, Tulane. But since I didn't have those extra 3 credits, I decided to go on the Peach Belt Conference, which is down in South Carolina, at Francis Marion University. Ended up there, had a really good fall season there under Coach Griffith. Ended up busting up my knee pretty bad. That's whenever I sort of knew my shots at, playing professional baseball were going to be rough. But I worked hard. I lost a little bit of weight. I just couldn't recover from my knee. They tried turning me back into a pitcher. I had sort of the Jason Mott thing going on. You know, I was throwing 91, 92 off the mound, but my mechanics were shot. I had no off speed. I had a decent slider, but I just knew it was time to hang it up, basically. Called my dad the day that I knew I was done playing, and I had 2 semesters left to finish my degree. And I said, Dad, I'm coming home. And he goes, well, I think it'd be best if you stay down there to maybe try to get your degree. So I stayed down there at Francis Marion University, got my degree in management technology, and came back home.
So now your professional baseball dreams have vaporized. What did you do next?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and I'll touch on that for a second. I was crushed. You know, my brother, he had a stint in the White Sox organization. He was an 88 grad from Collinsville High School. And everything sort of unfolded the same way it did for my brother. I mean, it was very tragic for a 21-year-old guy who's wanted to do nothing their entire life but to play professional baseball. I didn't watch ESPN. I didn't watch a single sport on TV for probably 3 years.
Wow.
Until my brother invited me out to go golfing. And the first time I hit that golf ball, it sort of got me back going again. But ended up graduating from Francis Marion University, came home, got a job almost immediately with the Maryville Police Department. And here we are now. I left Maryville October 28th, which was my birthday, October 28th, 2013.
So, when did you decide to open up the Code 3 Spices that has become pretty huge in Collinsville? And I mean, you're making a name for yourself, not only in your business, but in all the giving that you do back into the community and everything like that. When did all that come about?
Well, to be honest with you, it really all started after the Maryville church shooting. I was the first one through the doors that day. I had already had some PTS issues going on around that time. We had the church shooting. We had a couple other minor incidents. I was going through a lot of really tough things in my life around 2012. My sister had just got diagnosed with cancer. That wasn't going to look good at all. From the very beginning, we knew that. My mom was being put into a home. I was going through a divorce. We had our second child on the way. And that's just the half of it. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on that we can probably talk off camera about, but it was a tough time. It was a lot for anybody to go through. I felt like my world was colliding. I lived such a perfect childhood and early adulthood that for anybody to say that they never faced any adversity till they were 35 years old is, I mean, it truly is just a blessing. So that's sort of how that started. In 2012, I needed to get away. Me and my business partner, Chris Bonemeyer, I mean, we'd go to, oh gosh darn it, what was the name of the little bar in Stonebridge? And we'd go there because there was a cluster, I forgot what year it was or what season it was, where Charter didn't have like 30 some odd Cardinal games on that year. So we're like, well, we got to find a place to go watch the Cardinal game. So me and Chris would go down there and have some drinks, and we just talk barbecue and sports and stuff. And Chris was very advanced with cooking at that time, and I had been cooking since I was 18. So me and Chris already had that mutual connection. And on top of that, I knew Chris from his wife, Emily, growing up with Emily. And me and Chris just hit it off. Now, later down the road, we can talk about why the business works, because me and him are so different. But me and Chris, I can tell you this, in the 8 years of being in business, we haven't had too many hiccups, you know, and I think that says a lot about that. But back to the question is, we had a couple backyard barbecue contests that we went to, and we found out we were very quick learners. Chris was already making a rub, which was our 5-0 sweet and zesty rub, and the community just really, in the barbecue community, it took off really quick. It was a very good blend. Chris is sort of a mad scientist and very analytical when it comes to him putting the ingredients to our products together. We don't rush anything to market, and I think that's one of the very few things that has contributed to our success.
Mike Radosevich, the 96 graduate of Collinsville High School, joining us on our show here this week in Kahok Nation. So now you're the owner of an establishment in Collinsville called Code 3 Spices. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, obviously it's in the name, spices, but What else besides spices do you offer?
We do a lot of different things. So we do cooking classes. We have a barbecue supply here in town. I'm heavily involved in the National Barbecue and Grilling Association. Compete professionally. Chris handles all that stuff. Matter of fact, this past weekend, he had 3 pro state cook-offs just this past weekend. And we have a lot of people coming to us now at this point in our business journey, sort of wanting mentorship. So Chris and I do take a lot of pride in that. Obviously, we have Smoking on Main, just a street over once a year. Couldn't have it this year, which really sucked. But we're finding ways around to keep on donating to the charities that we like to donate to.
That was leading me to my next question. You guys do donate to a lot of charities. The U.S. Veterans Foundation, Safe Call Now, Backstoppers is a big one. I've never seen a local business give so much back to the community like you guys do. How did that start? Listen,
I wish I got asked this question a lot more. I do a lot of interviews, a lot of podcasts. Now that our company's nationwide, they sort of go for the meat and potato questions. My mom and dad, let us back up. My grandparents came on a boat from Croatia and landed right over here on South Chestnut Street. My dad was the baby of his clan. I'm the baby of my clan. I'm very proud of this community. This is where my family, put their roots down. I'm very fortunate to have tons of great teachers throughout my upbringing here in Collinsville. I'm very proud of Purple. I'm very proud of the high school I went to. And here's the thing. Chris and I are so focused on growing our business, but we've always been focused from day one on giving back. And what a better way to give back, to the people that are supporting buying our products in our community already. Well, why aren't we just contributing more back to our community? That's why we came up with Smoking on Main. That's why we're not very vocal about it, because we like to stay sort of quiet on it, but we do a lot of donations out of the ones you just said. We're very proud of donating to the local food pantry and some other local organizations around here. And it's the right thing to do. That's how Chris was raised. That's how I was raised. We're in business for the long haul, and we want to be sort of the trailblazers in our industry. And I think we're doing a good job of it, because, we're going up against guys like Durkee, McCormick, Sweet Baby Ray's, who's owned by Ken's Foods. We're all in. We want to, Collinsville's already been put on the map, but we want to contribute more to the legacy through our business for the city of Collinsville.
So now you're into the podcast industry. I kind of got forced into it here because of the pandemic, and there's no sports to do right now. So that's why Clay Smith and I came up with this show. But you guys didn't do this out of necessity because of a pandemic. You guys said you wanted to do a podcast. So tell everybody about Meet America podcast.
This, today's Monday. We just launched our 10th episode. Chris and I, we have a vision board and list of things that we want to accomplish throughout, our journey with Code 3 Spices. We're working on some very major things that, if they happen, it's really going to benefit the city of Collinsville, and, to be honest with you, the whole region, if we can pull this off. Chris and I work very hard. We wear a bunch of different hats. We're at the point now in business where, I think we're in almost every state now. I think we just crossed 4,000 retailers across the country, and I know we're going to be adding a lot more next year. We've got a lot of really cool things in the wheelbarrow, if you will. As far as the podcast goes, this was my idea. The reason I wanted to do it is because we are so well connected in our industry to the coolest people out there. And there's so many stories about barbecue and people that love to cook that you would never think that would be that into it just as much as we do. And we just sort of wanted to highlight some of our friends. Me and Chris's mantra from day one has always been, the whole all boats rise together thing. We're selling all of our buddies' rubs in our shop, their sauces in our shop. Let's highlight these people that are doing amazing things in their life and share that with our community. This isn't something that we're wanting to be a Joe Rogan deal or anything like this. This is for us. This really is for us. We do a lot of things for so many other people, and it's just fun to be able to sit down with our buddies and talk. And if there's anything that the listeners or viewers can, watch on YouTube or listen to on any of the listening platforms, we're trying to share valuable information. I'm I'm very vulnerable during this podcast, you know, about some of my adversity that I've had to overcome. And the feedback's been tremendous. I mean, I've had phone calls from cops all across the country. So I know we're doing it. Even if it makes one person smile, one person laugh, or helps one person, we're just going to keep doing it as long as time allows.
And then mostly it's obviously going to be about food, but I saw a couple weeks ago you guys had a UFC fighter on your show.
Yeah, Jim Miller, he's a big barbecue dude. He's an awesome guy. That's the other thing too is, you know, most people that, I'll word this a different way. So when you think of celebrities and famous people, this, that, and the other, you look at them just as that. They're literally just like you and I, and they love the same things that we love. They have the same emotions and feelings that we have, this, that, and the other. And those are the humble, uncommon people that we like having on our show. You know, to allow people to say, well, man, this Jim Miller from the UFC's, he's just a hardworking dude that, you know, sort of the same story like me, you know, but he's made it. He persevered. You know, and those are the stories that we want to help inspire other people as well.
Tell the folks where they can find the podcast.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube on Red Meat Lovers YouTube channel, and all you got to do is search Meat America Podcast, or if you're on Spotify, Libsyn, all those listening platforms, just Meat America Podcast.
All right, you touched on the future just a little bit, so before we let you get out of here, tell us what you can about things you may have in the works coming up.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think I can tell you too much. I told you. But there's just so many moving parts to it. I can touch on this. So from business growth, we're expecting, so we'll be 8 years old November 24th, which is really hard to believe, to be honest with you. It feels like we just started it. To say that we're almost 10 years old is even crazier to think. But we do plan on adding a lot more retailers. We're not going to stop adding retailers anytime soon. Our goal next year is 1,500 to 2,000 more retailers, and we are going to try to do that every year. We're working on a lot of different things with online retail, obviously providing a lot more value with Code 3 Barbecue Supply. Now that everything's online from our storefront, you know, now we're shipping our products here from Collinsville, Illinois, in our storefront all across the country now, which is great. So we're just trying to grow the brand the right way, the smart way, and the most effective way.
All right. Well, tell the folks how they can get a hold of you, both in person and online.
Yeah, we're at 302 East Main Street in Collinsville, Illinois. All of our social medias, we're very active on Instagram. That's probably one of our biggest keys to success is social media. We haven't spent a penny on much advertising from day one. We do a lot of things that a lot of companies don't. You'll see me or Chris cooking in the backyard, sharing recipes, playing with kids, whatever it is. We really like to show that side of us and the human relations that we do outside of work. So at Code 3 Spices, Facebook, Instagram, we don't do much with Twitter. And obviously Meat America and all that good stuff at code3spices.com.
I don't do much with Twitter either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Love your store. I love walking in there. It smells great. The things in there are just awesome. And I really love what you do in the community and nationwide. So thanks for joining us.
Go Kahawks.
Go Kahawks. Mike Radosevich, the owner of Code 3 Spices, 1996 graduate of Collinsville High School. We'll take a break here on This Week in Kahok Nation. Coming up next, Collinsville Athletic Director Clay Smith will sit down and talk things over with Andrea Frecker, and then I'll be back a little later on with our first installment as we interview one Mr. Ken Oberkfell for the first time over a 3-week period. We're back in just a moment on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahok alums. Located at 302 East Main Street, Code 3 Barbecue Supply is your home for one-of-a-kind everything barbecue headquarters, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning rubs and sauces and donates 25 cents a unit sold to first responder and military organizations to aid the fallen and assist with suicide prevention and PTSD awareness. Stop on by. See the guys at Code 3 Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of the Memphis in May first place world champion Patriot sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at code3spices.com.
Plumbing or electrical problems? Is your AC or heater on the fritz? There are dozens of companies out there, but do you really know who you're letting in your home? Trust Tiger. Our technicians are clean-cut, drug-free, and background-checked. What other company can make this bold statement? Our 24-hour emergency service will ensure your plumbing, heating, AC, and electric are up and running no matter what time of day it is. Schedule your appointment today. Tiger Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Services. We earn our stripes every day.
Are the lights on your dashboard putting on a show? Bring it to Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is also a T3 certified tire center. They can handle all of the basics like oil changes and tune-ups and the not-so-basics like complete engine rebuilds. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing and has 3 locations: Millstadt, St. Louis, and in Collinsville. The Collinsville location is at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call 345-0611, online at mikesautomotive.net and Mike's Automotive on Facebook. Metro East Roofing and Guttering. Locally owned and operated since 1987 by brothers and Kahok alums Tony and Corey Jones. Metro East Roofing is your place for residential, commercial, or industrial roofing, guttering, or siding. Choose Metro East Roofing and Guttering, where quality is first and the job is done right the first time. Located at 1231 Lebanon Road in Collinsville, Metro East Roofing and Guttering is the hometown company you know and trust. Call 618-345-5679 today for your free estimate and visit their Facebook page at Metro East Roofing and Guttering.
Looking to buy a new home or sell your current one? Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now. Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis to help you find the perfect home or to help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at 618-780-4622 or visit them online at blaylockteam.com or on Facebook at the Blaylock team.
Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS class of 99, want to wish all of our Kahawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Hashtag Kahawk Family.
Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Brady Pest and Termite Management is your local pest control source. The Midwest offers its fair share of pest problems, and Brady Pest and Termite Management is up to the challenge. Whether it's pesky rodents in the cold winter months or ants, spiders, and other pests in the warm months, Brady Pest and Termite is your solution. And termites? Brady Pest is tops in the Metro East and Termite Management. Do you have unwanted pests? Then call the best. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Call 343-1790 or on Facebook at Brady Pest and Termite.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
First National Bank of Waterloo, celebrating over 100 years of banking. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, now with locations in Collinsville and Maryville, for your mortgage and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, call Bill Metzger at First National Bank of Waterloo at 345-1121 or visit them with their new locations in Collinsville and Maryville or online at fnbwaterloo.com. First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Cafe Agape serves up some of the best sandwiches, burgers, pork steaks, meatloaf, fish, and more in Collinsville. And yes, they still cater. Wedding receptions, luncheons, business meetings, and much more. And Cafe Agape is your destination for all of your holiday and party favorites, both main courses as well as delicious sides. Cafe Agape in Collinsville is the only place to pick up a Kahok sandwich or dog and the new Flamin' Kahok sandwich. Cafe Agape, check them out at 703 St. Louis Road. Give them a call at 345-CAFE. That's 345-2233. And don't forget to tell them Stewie sent you.
Hey, welcome back, Kahok fans, to another edition of This Week in Kahok Nation. I'm Athletic Director Clay Smith, and I am sitting here with Kahok alum Andrea Frecker. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So let's just lead off a little bit. You can tell all Kahok Nation a little bit about yourself.
Well, I graduated in 2017. Seems like yesterday, but I can't believe that was years ago. I was a three-sport athlete here played cross country, basketball, and soccer, and I continue playing soccer. Now I'm at SIUE, and I'm a senior this year.
And that is hard to believe for me, that you're already a senior this year at SIUE. And what are you majoring in at SIUE?
I'm majoring in chemistry and actually have a minor in biology and forensic chemistry.
Wonderful. And what do you want to do with that when you
I want to
grow
go to
up?
med school when I grow up.
You want to go to med school when you grow up. So you want to follow in your poppy's footsteps.
I do.
Andrea is also the daughter to our world-renowned cross-country and track coach, Coach Daryl Frecker. And, Andrea said she was a three-sport athlete here. And at the time, I truly believe she could have been a four-sport athlete if we could have worked girls track into the girls soccer season a little bit. What do you think? Think you could have done both?
I don't know. Soccer is so important to me. I don't know if I could have done track.
It was pretty tough. I know. It was pretty tough. So a soccer player at SIUE, you're playing for Coach Derek Burton. So how are things going at SIUE? How has the career been, leading up to your senior year? And then obviously, things have been twisted a little bit for a loop here with COVID. So just kind of walk us through your college career here and then where you're at now.
I have absolutely loved it. It's weird being 10 minutes, down the road, really close to home, but I absolutely love the environment, the coaches, the team. We've been pretty tight-knit the last 3 years and supposed to, of course, end with a bang and have our best season, best team this year, but we'll see if we can get that together this spring.
So with the COVID season then, and women's soccer Division I level, you should have been playing this fall, but they've went ahead and postponed it, and now you are scheduled to play in the spring.
Yes, supposed to play in the spring and then again in the fall.
So right now, are you fearful that spring won't happen, or are you pretty confident that it will? What's the general feeling?
I really think we'll have our spring season. I'm just hoping we get the full season and not, just half of our games or playing half a conference. So
Right. Well, we hope so as well. I know, it's great having you so close to home. I imagine Mom and Dad love it. It's right down the road, and you're far enough away from home that you can stay away, but you're close enough to come home and get a nice meal and do your laundry every once in a while too.
Yes.
So what Andrea didn't mention is what she did in the classroom here at Collinsville High School. Where did you finish in your class when you graduated?
I think it was 4.
Top 5 here at Collinsville High School. So being a three-sport athlete and finishing top 5 of your class, that is not very easy to do in today's age. As a matter of fact, we don't even see that many three-sport athletes come through anymore at the high school level. What are some challenges that you think you faced in your high school career being a three-sport athlete?
I think the truth and obvious one is time management and keeping your social life, your school life, your academics and your athletics, my athletics and all of that straight. But what meant the most to me was my athletics and my school. And so I put those first and kind of just happens. Put the work in and get results.
And not to mention running for your father, I'm sure could add a little bit of stress to the equation or could help in certain situations. Right. So what advice would you give for any high school kids now within the halls of CHS that are, are contemplating being a three-sport athlete? They probably could be, but maybe they're not going to. Obviously, you want them to be three-sport athletes and everything they do. Any advice for them that you can give them?
I'd say just go for it. I mean, everything that I did in cross country helped me with basketball and soccer. Everything I did in basketball helped me with the other two sports, and I just loved it. I created so many friends, and I still have those friends today. And really, there's nothing to lose in high school, so go for it. Take your chances. Have no regrets.
And then that's not to mention, were you doing club sports during those seasons too? So you did club soccer. Did you do club basketball or not?
I did not. Well, not junior, senior year.
Not junior, senior year. So you also had to manage your club season. You played club across the river.
Yep.
At Lou Fuse across the river, so you're making trips across the river probably 2 to 3 nights a week and a couple times on the weekends, so all that comes into play. Well, I imagine with all those great experiences on the athletic side and the classroom here at Collinsville High School, you had some great memories that you left here. What is one of the best memories that sticks out to you as we wrap up here that you can share with Kahok Nation?
I'm going to go with getting second place in state with soccer, especially, coach right here. And it's even better just because we got the fourth and the third. We just needed that one more year, but second.
Pouring salt into the wound, Andrea.
It still hurts, but second team was awesome. Going to state 3 years like that was absolutely unforgettable.
That was quite an experience, wasn't it? I wasn't traded in for the world. Great group of kids, awesome teammates, fun coaches, and it was a memorable ride that really put Collinsville girls soccer on the map, and you were part of that, so that's fantastic.
It was awesome.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. I know you're busy. You're doing some off-season things now, and you have places to go. It's always great seeing alumni come back to talk to us and to hang out with us here on the campus of CHS. So until next time, I'm Clay Smith, AD at Collinsville High School. This is Andrea Frecker, Kahok alum and SIUE Cougar, and we'll see you sometime soon. Bye-bye.
The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org. Ogle Auctions in Collinsville, the newest in online auctioning. Go to ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's HIBid.com to check out what's up for bid in the next auction. Ogle Auctions deals with everyday items like board games, t-shirts, and more, to collectibles, whether that is a vehicle, vinyl records, or vintage toys. Or how about a trolley car? And Ogle Auctions is always on the lookout for more items. Check out their next online auction at ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's ogleauctionshibid.com. Or call Kim Ogle today at 618-980-4530.
As the Director of Sports Medicine at Next Level Performance Institute, I oversee the care of all of our athletes, many high school, collegiate, and professional. Our goal is to help athletes stay on the field and maximize their performance. We have state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment where we can actually perform testing to get to the root cause of problems that could be getting in the way of athletic performance. When it comes to taking care of athletes, we take a full-body approach, whether it's musculoskeletal ailments, nutritional issues, organic issues such as headaches, sinuses, digestive issues. We have advanced training to where we can remedy health issues and return that athlete to play as quickly as possible. If you or your athlete are dealing with any kind of nagging sports injury and would like to see if we can possibly help, feel free to give us a call or come by the office anytime.
The reviews are in. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville is a hit in the Metro East. Folks both local and visiting the area are calling Old Herald Brewery and Distillery a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is located at 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville and is home to one of the only restaurants in the state with their own brewery and distillery that produces some of the best brews and spirits in the area. And the food, all created by an in-house chef using local ingredients that will please any palate. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville has daily specials including patio service and curbside pickup. Get yourself a bottle or a growler to go, or dine on their patio where you can hear live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Don't forget about Old Herald's open mic night the second and last Tuesday of every month. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville. Check their Facebook page for daily specials, online ordering at oldheraldbrewery.com, or call 855-8027.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the Event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Whether building a new home, making an addition to the home you currently own, or finally getting around to that remodeling job you've been putting off, Pace Design and Construction in Maryville can help. Pace Design and Construction is a building and remodeling contractor you can trust. They provide the highest quality, they are dedicated to their customers, and are committed to completing your project on time and within budget. Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Give them a call at 618-407-5466, online at pacedesignconstruct.com, or on Facebook at Pace Construction Design. And welcome back to This Week in Kahok Nation. My name is Todd Duke. This gentleman over here, that's Ken Oberkfell. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of people of a certain age that are probably saying, Ken Oberkfell, that's awesome, that is great. And there's another group that are saying, Ken who? Ken Oberkfell, everybody, is a 1974 graduate of Collinsville High School, baseball player here on this very field where we're sitting in front of, Arthur Fletcher Field. And most notably, Ken Oberkfell was a third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the 80s when they won the World Series in 82. And we thank you very much for visiting us. It is a pleasure to be able to talk to you.
Oh, thank you, Todd. It's a pleasure for me too. You know, this is a lot of memories on this field behind me here, but a lot of memories in Maryville and Collinsville, and just all good memories.
Let's begin there. Tell us about growing up in Maryville and your years at Collinsville High School.
Well, the funny thing about it, you know, they said I was born in Highland. Well, I was born in Highland because there wasn't no hospital in Maryville. And they said, well, you grew up in Highland? I said, yeah, for 3 days, and then moved back to Maryville. And Maryville's always been a baseball place. Collinsville's been a basketball and baseball town, and a lot of sports goes on. And what we did in Maryville, especially in the summers when we were teenagers, we'd always go up to the field behind the old Catholic church up there and we'd play Indian ball every day. Our parents knew where to find us all, and we'd just go up there. We just had to be home, get a little lunch, go back, and be home when the street lights came on.
That's awesome. Love those stories because that reminds me of growing up. When the street lights came on, time to come home. That's right. How'd you get started in baseball?
I just played it in the Little League when I started. I was like 6 years old when I started playing, and I just always liked baseball. My dad played a little bit of baseball in the inner city leagues when they had Maryville Red Sox, and they had teams in Troy. And I'd always go watch games, chase foul balls, and just have a lot of fun. And it's just something I ended up wanting to do. I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a policeman. I didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a baseball player. And, fortunately, God gave me a little talent, and I was able to fulfill my dream.
That's funny you mention it like that, because I was going to say, growing up, guys wanted to be firemen, policemen, or baseball players. I know I wanted to be one. Yep. I just never grew up. When did you finally realize that you had the talent that it took to make it to that level?
Probably in high school. In Little League, you just play, you have fun. We played for the treats so we could get a little ice cream after the games. But I'm guessing probably about my junior, senior year, I felt like, this could happen. And not knocking players in the area, but I was one of the better ones in the area, so I'm like, if I keep working at this and keep working at this, you never know, I might get that chance.
In Collinsville High School, obviously you played baseball. Did you play any other sports?
I played basketball a couple of years. I didn't really play. I, sat the bench, but it was something sports to kind of get me ready for the baseball season.
Now the IHSA website, which is what all of us, media savvy people use now to do our homework on, it doesn't have yearly records for the Kahawks up until 1986, with the exception of the 1941 season when they won the state championship there. I believe 1949 is on there, and then 1980 when they won again, and then 82 or 81 the next year when they finished in second place. There's no mention of the records from your times playing. How was the Collinsville baseball teams back when you were on them?
We weren't bad. I mean, my junior year, I thought we had a really good team, and where we would go to our senior year, and we had a player that was disqualified. I guess he was living with his grandmother, but his parents lived in another city. So we had to forfeit all our games my senior year. So maybe that's why there wasn't no records for it.
And unfortunately, that kind of thing still goes on sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does. Growing up here, I'm guessing you grew up a St. Louis Cardinals fan?
Die hard.
Yeah?
I was a big die-hard Cardinal fan. Watched them all the time as a kid. My dad would take me and my brothers to the ball games once in a while. We even went to Old Sportsman's Park for, I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 games there. I don't remember them well, but it was just, we just loved baseball. I mean, it was crazy. I grew up a diehard Cardinal fan. My dad was a diehard Cub fan.
Oh, yeah. I married one.
And I used to kid him. I said, Dad, how can you root for the Cubs? He goes, they're in Illinois. I said, there's 5 hours away. You're 20 minutes from Busch Stadium. He goes, I'm a Cub fan.
Who were your favorite players from the Cardinals back in those days?
My all-time favorite player was Ken Boyer. I always liked Kenny Boyer coming up. I got to play, fortunately, which was I got to play with Lou Brock for a couple of years, which was pretty cool. But I mean, they had the good players, but my favorite players was probably Ken Boyer and then Julian Javier. I really liked him.
Talk to us a little bit about high school or being a teenager growing up in the Maryville, Collinsville area back in the day, away from baseball. What did you and your friends do to have fun?
Played baseball. That's basically what we did. Or, we'd camp out. When my neighbors had a camper, we'd camp out and try not to get in teenage trouble. But,
right.
But we didn't. We basically just played sports. It was like, if it wasn't baseball season, we'd play basketball. We'd do something. I went out for football one year, and when I think it was my sophomore year. My dad always wanted one of his kids to play high school football, so I said, I'll go out. And I got hit harder by my own teammates than the other team, so I said, this is not my game. I did not want to play football. I'm going to stick to baseball. And that's what we did a lot, played a lot of baseball.
Do you still stay in touch with your teammates from that Collinsville baseball program back then?
A few of them, not many. I mean, don't see them. Everybody goes their own way. But there's a couple good. My best friend in the world, Bobby Morgan. I still see him. I'll see, some of the older players that played when I was playing. But I went to a 40-year class reunion it's been a while back, and it was like, oh my God, this is just how it was in school. Boys would be one side, girls would be the other side, and girls ran the whole program, and we just sit there and had fun.
I went to one of those not too long ago, and it was just like that.
Yeah.
And even the old cliques from back in the day hung out together at the same tables and stuff.
That's exactly what it was.
That's cool. All right, when you were a Major League Baseball player, you batted left-handed and you threw right. How did that come about?
When I was little, I just picked up a bat and I had it in my, like being a left-hand hitter. I no reason why, it just happened that way, and I felt more comfortable hitting left-handed, so that's what I did.
Anybody ever try to get you to go to the right side and make you a switch hitter?
I tried that one time in the minor leagues with the Cardinals. I went down to the instructional league just to try to work on switch hitting a little bit. I could hit the ball right-handed. I couldn't get out of the way of the ball right-handed, so I was saying, wait, I'm getting hit 5 and 6 times. I can hit left-handed, and so I just basically stuck to hitting left-handed.
In 1975, you're just a year out of high school, and you get signed to a free agent amateur contract by the St. Louis Cardinals. Tell me what that was like and what was going through your mind when that happened.
Well, we were playing at BAC then, which is now SWIC, and we got beat in a tournament. And there was a couple Cardinal scouts at the game, so they couldn't talk to us during, while we were still alive in the tournament. So once we lost, we were just picking up stuff and cleaning up, and a couple Cardinal scouts, Joe Mathis and Fred McAllister, came over to me and introduced herself, and they said, the Cardinals were kind of interested in signing me. And I said, well, wow. And they said, we're going to come to your house tomorrow, go home and talk to your parents about it and, get their feelings about it. And I went home and talked to my parents. I said, what do you think? And they said, well, my dad looked at me and goes, you're grown up, you make your decision. Whatever your decision is, we'll support it. Well, it was a no-brainer for me. I was going to be a Cardinal baseball player, so I ended up signing.
Is that the only team that ever contacted you?
I got letters and, stuff like that, but that was the only team at the time. I mean, the draft, it was before the draft. So I basically signed as a free agent, and then someone told me if I would have waited to the draft, I might have been a #1 pick with some team, but I said, I don't care. I'm with my Cardinals.
So you mentioned Belleville Area College, BAC, we knew it as, now it's SWIC. Tell us about those couple of years.
Well, I went there just 1 year in '75. After I graduated, I didn't sign it, I didn't sign with anybody, so I went to BAC, which is now SWIC, like you said, and was a junior college All-American, and by then I knew I had a good chance to at least play professional baseball, maybe not in the big leagues, but professional. And once I got into it, they asked me at school when I went in to register. They said, "What do you want to major in?" And I said, "Baseball." That's what I told them. I said, "Baseball." And I said, I went there because you only had to commit for 1 year at a time. So I turned down offers from big schools because I wanted to sign. I didn't care about school. That's bad to say, but I just wanted to play baseball. So after our first year, I signed, and the rest was history.
All right, that is Ken Oberkfell, former Kahok baseball player, former St. Louis Cardinal first baseman, and that's going to do it for our first installment of our interview with Mr. Oberkfell. Join us next week, and we'll bring you part 2. Until then, we'll be back in just a moment here on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Everyone has those projects around the house that you just don't want to do. AW Outdoor Solutions can take care of that for you. Former Collinsville High School graduate Adam Welly owns AW Outdoor Solutions, and he and his crew can handle all of the dirty work around your home or business, whether that's tree trimming and maintenance, brush removal, power washing, gutter cleaning, and leaf raking and removal. AW Outdoor Solutions can handle that and much more. AW Outdoor Solutions is fully insured and offers free estimates on all of their work. AW Outdoor Solutions. Call Adam Welly at 314-252-8010 or on Facebook at AW Outdoor Solutions.
Just because you can cut your own hair doesn't mean you should. The Shop, a great place in Collinsville for men and boys haircuts, is where you should take your hair. The shop is owned and operated by Collinsville High School graduates Danny Kress and Jody Neiman, and is located at 103 South Seminary Street in Uptown Collinsville. The shop isn't just another place to get a haircut, as Danny and Jody take great joy in getting to know their clients and look forward to turning those clients into friends. When you sit in a stylish chair at the shop, Jody and Danny pride themselves on getting to know you well enough to say, "The usual?" So, men and boys, if you're tired of the same old cookie-cutter approach to haircuts, check out Danny and Jody at the shop. You may just walk out with not only a fantastic cut, but you may also walk out with a friend. Or two. The shop in Collinsville, 618-772-7175. No appointment necessary. The shop, 103 South Seminary in Uptown Collinsville.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Do we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Call Up Jennings Florist, a Collinsville original since 1939. Call Up Jennings Florist has a wide variety of green and blooming plants, specializing in all designs, from traditional to trend settings. Call Up Jennings Florist is of course your place for beautiful flowers, suitable for any occasion. From anniversaries to birthdays, graduations to weddings, Call Up Jennings Florist is there for any life's major moments. Call Up Jennings Florist, 517 West Clay Street in Collinsville. Call 344-0404 or online at callupjennings.com.
Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville, owned by former Kahok Jay Merkel. At Extreme Details, they believe in the value of community and in helping the community hold the value of their vehicles. A sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details offers drop-off, pickup, and delivery service, as well as a mobile service, whether that's a simple wash and wax or all the way up to a full detail job. No job is too big or too small for Extreme Details. Plus, Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal and vacuums every vehicle regardless of what package you choose. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, and more. Extreme Details in Collinsville, open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Call Jay Merkel for an appointment at 301-6033 or 977-1224.
Welcome back to This Week in Kahok Nation, Kahok fans. I'm Athletic Director Clay Smith. Hey, before we close out today's show, I just want to update everybody on some news we received yesterday from the IHSA regarding winter sports. It's that time of year where we're transitioning from fall sports to the start of a winter season. And with our not-so-normal year come a lot of questions with the future of our athletic programs. The IHSA is working closely with the IDPH in order to establish guidelines set forth so we can participate in winter sports safely. We were updated yesterday and we were told that we should have a good summary and a good idea of what's going to happen no later than October 28th. So stand by on winter sports and how we'll proceed with those. We were also given a bit of great news considering our spring and summer athletes. In the past, an athlete participating for a high school sport could not participate with their club team at the same time. Moving forward for this year only, sports such as girls soccer and boys soccer, baseball, softball, girls volleyball, for example, those athletes will now be able to compete with their club team along with their high school team at the same time. Well, I do realize that will present some challenges for some families and some kids. At the same time, it is nice flexibility from the IHSA to grant us that in order for kids to be able to do both if they choose to do so. I will be working closely with some area clubs to get more information and see how we can work together to provide the safest and best environment for our student athletes here at Collinsville High School. Again, thanks for tuning in. We want to thank Mike Radosevich from Code 3 Spices and former Kahok. He is co-owner of Code 3 Spices with good friend Chris Bonnemeyer. So thanks, Mike, for stopping by. We also want to thank former three-sport athlete Andrea Frecker, now at SIUE doing her thing. Thanks, Andrea. Always nice to see you. And we also want to thank 1982 World Series Cardinal baseball champion Ken Obergfell. Thanks, Ken, and we look forward to hearing more from you soon. So, for Todd Duke, I'm Athletic Director Clay Smith, and we will see you next week in This Week in Kahok Nation. Everybody stay safe out there, wear a mask, and wash your hands. Thanks, Kahawks.